Fred the local villager. I broke YouTube. I've only got an hour, so we got to make the best of it, ladies and gents. Um, but I guess there was like a global YouTube meltdown. So you break a bus. You break a bus. So there you are. What's everybody up to? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. A little bit tired, but the show must go on, ladies and gents. We work hard. Invite Varg to your church. I just saw that. Lay down your souls to the gods of rock and roll. Yeah, Venom. Stop avoiding me in Fortnite. I'm not avoiding you. The girls are playing right now. I got scared when YouTube was down. No, sorry. I know. I know she's a real star of the show. Yeah. But she's incognito right now. But you're only gonna have me for an hour. What y'all up to? I am here. Let the show begin. Okay, Revere. What are we talking about? We must have shot like 8, 9, 10 videos. What's good, BM fan? BM, are you going to call me and explain to me the Proud Boys and what the hell they were doing? I'm going to be calling to yell at you. What do you do as a regular day job? If I told you that, I'd have to kill you, sir. Oh, you got notification on the fireside. Very good. Talk about Saudi Arabia and that nonsense. Well, call me up and talk about it. I'm not sure what Trump is supposed to do about the Saudis or about targeted killing. Yeah, this would have to kill you. We've got a symbiotic relationship as far as like mutual assured destruction if our identities are revealed. Thanks, Neil. Rachel Hoover. Well, it's one fireside web, but you know how it goes. It was a journalist. Yeah. It's really fucked up what happened to that guy. And then there, what is it Trump saying? It's a rogue rogue operators from whatever. It's like, okay, it's obviously, to me, it's obviously state sanctioned. Those obviously state sanctioned. So I don't understand how he's even. It concerns me that he's even trying to be a mouthpiece for the excuse making. I mean, I think you just have to fall on the sword. They killed that guy. So there you are. Who's talking to me?
Evan.
Who's this?
Vin.
Hey, BM. So, I am talking about two things. One is I need a delineation of the whole Proud Boys fiasco that happened over the weekend.
Okay.
But the other thing I was talking about that I need help thinking through is this whole thing with Khashoggi, I think his name is.
Khashoggi?
Yeah, the the journalist.
Yep.
So, what do you think do you agree that it's obviously the Saudis that did this? There wasn't some rogue operators.
I would probably have to put it to Occam's razor.
Right. Simplest explanation,
It's
right?
just the simplest explanation.
Okay, one of the things I'm trying to figure out is what would the motivation... Was he critical of the Crown Prince? Is that pretty much what happened?
I believe he was critical. I followed a little bit of this, not a super ton. But from what I could gather, yes, he was very critical.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but like, it's like, was a 400-pound hacker? Didn't Trump say something like that? Like, anyway, what do you think should happen to him and to the Saudis now?
This is the fun thing about politics and foreign relations. Like Saudi Arabia is just so freaking powerful and whatnot. Generally, when things like this happen, we look to the international community and we impose sanctions. But Saudi Arabia is obviously not gonna like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were saying, and of course, I don't think the Russians would participate in any sanctions against Saudi Arabia.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, this is, you know, this is what we do. We all do targeted killings. So what the fuck is the problem? That's what Putin's thinking probably. So if we do these sanctions, the Russians aren't going to participate. The Saudis are going to do the $1 billion arms deal with them, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, what can we do? What are we supposed to do?
That's just the reality of the situation. Like, it's a catch-22. Either way, it's shit. Either way, we continue to ally with Saudi Arabia, and that just makes us look bad, or we take stand, and then that still, makes us, in a poor position.
Yeah. And what do you do to destabilize the Middle East by going after the Saudis?
The Middle East is already so fucked.
Yeah.
We have been mucking around in there for so long, and it only gets worse.
Yeah. By the way, Ben, Dirk, the fact that YouTube died doesn't mean that Skype died. I was on the phone with the brother on Skype. So there goes that theory. Okay, all right. Now it's time to talk about Antifa, BM.
Alrighty.
So I'm hearing contradict. Okay, so here's a narrative that I know so far, and I will admit that I wasn't really digging into this a lot. So a lot of this is fact finding for me. But
okay.
So the Proud Boys or the Patriot Prayer thing was happening in Oregon. Is that right?
I think there was a thing going on in Portland. The thing that the main event that happened though was in New York.
Shit, we were just there. Okay, and then the Proud Boys started attacking people and beating people up.
There's a whole bunch of events here. I'm specifically talking about the incident that happened in was the Manhattan Metropolitan Republican Club or whatever that was called.
Okay.
So what happened is they invited Gavin Mcinnes, who is the leader of the Proud Boys, to come down and give like a speech thingy, basically celebrating a political assassination back in 1960 Japan. A young, I think 17-year-old far-right extremist rushed the stage of a televised debate and assassinated one of the candidates with a sword.
Shit. In real life, that shit actually happened?
Yes. Look it up. It's the assassination of, who is it? Hang on.
And they're celebrating this.
Yes, it was a celebration. The assassination of Inajiro Asanuma.
Okay, why were they?
He was a socialist. So.
Oh, so because he was
assassinated by nationalists while speaking in a televised political debate in Tokyo. His violent death was seen in graphic detail on national television.
What happened? What happened to the guy who did it?
He was arrested and committed suicide in jail.
And they're hailing this guy as a hero.
Yes.
Who basically committed an act of terrorism.
Yes.
Oh my God! What in the world?
This is why, like, if you watch, like, back when Fox News had their coverage, as they're talking about this, you actually see Gavin Mcinnes, as he's standing outside, he pulls out a sword and brandishes it in front of everybody before he gets into his car. Like, yeah, this event was in celebration of this assassination.
Whoa! M. Deathfan is in the house. I think M. Deathfan is like the kind of opposite of you, so. Hopefully he can get on the phone because maybe you guys.
Here's another great thing. Gavin Mcinnes recently posted on his Instagram the assassination actually.
What the fuck?
Except he used the what was it? Hang on, let me find the thing right here.
So this is a real nasty guy.
Here is it right here. Okay, hang on. I can't link it in chat, but I'm gonna send it to you on Skype. Okay.
This is a really nasty guy. M. Deathfan, what's this guy's name? Gavin Mcinnes? M. Deathfan, do you agree that this is a really nasty dude?
There you go. Look at that photo.
Do I know Gavin? No, I do not know Gavin. I'm saying like if he really did that shit on Instagram, which I don't know, but I'm looking at a photo right now. Give me a second. BM fan. Oh my god. Believe in something even if it means sacrifice. So he's using the Colin Kaepernick thing and this is this guy tooling up to kill this dude.
Yes.
And the guy died, obviously.
Yes. He stabbed and killed that guy on live television.
Motherfucker, that's terrible. God almighty.
And like this is the kind of stuff that like these kind of peoples love, you know. For instance, like there's also back there like Charlottesville and stuff. There were people that had shirts that said Pinochet did nothing wrong.
Yikes. Okay.
You know,
MDef
like,
fan.
a really popular claim is.
Wait, hold on. I gotta stop you, BM fan.
Okay.
So MDef fan, why are you saying that that's funny? The guy assassinated somebody. Aren't you supposed to be like for free speech and all that shit? It's a serious question. I'm trying to figure out. You're a very balanced, intelligent person. We have a beautiful relationship. I love you, but what? Why are you laughing and saying it's funny? I don't know him. I'm just looking at the Instagram account, bro, and it looks to me to be legitimate. Are you saying that he did not post that on his Instagram account? How about you jump on the phone so that the three of us can have a conversation, huh? All right, go ahead. Continue your point.
No, I was just kind of talking about how like a lot of right wingers, like you'll see a lot of like your really rampant anti-communist type people, like they tend to adopt a black and yellow logo, and the logo is actually a photo of a helicopter with someone being kicked out of it, because that's what Pinochet did with the disappearances.
Right.
Like they very much celebrate this kind of stuff.
So it's well documented that people on the far right have done fucking terrible atrocities, and we've already talked about people on your side doing terrible atrocities. But this is kind of self-criticism. I went really hard after you for Antifa because they were putting their hands on people, and you were saying, well, you got people on the right that have violent elements. I'm like, no, there are. Well, I don't know. This guy seems to me to be a very violent person.
Oh, it's absolutely there. Also, did you see that recent report with I think earlier there was another Patriot Prayer thing, and the police recently revealed that they actually had a number of like the right wingers had people stationed on top of a building with guns. Like in a sniper position.
Well, they were doing that during the whole ranch thing, right? A bunch of right wingers showed up with the.
No, this was like at a protest.
God almighty.
Let me
hold
see
on.
if I can actually find the
BM, I'm
like just came out.
BM, I'm definitely confused right now because MDeath fan calls in a lot, and for some reason he's not calling in right now, and I don't know why. MDeath fan, why are you not calling in? What's the CLC reaction? What band is CLC?
Corrosion of Conformity.
Oh, okay. A lot of this is...
Did you get my email earlier?
I'm trying to get my...
I sent you a bunch of Deathspell Omega songs.
Yes, you did. I'm trying to get my foundation here, he says. Okay. All right. A lot of this is BS. What's BS, Commander Argo? Well, what are you trying to sort out? Death Fan, do you know what happened over the weekend or no? If you don't know, just say you don't know. That's fine. Okay, you've got a 2 week.
Also, back during what was it? When you made that Facebook post, I linked some various photos, not photos, like Twitter posts.
Yep.
One of which showed the perspective from a kind of right-winger perspective. And you see the guy kind of walking around. He's like, oh, man, these cops weren't here. I'd instigate this right now. Man, I just want to fuck those guys up right now. Talking like that. And then a guy kind of starts like walking near him. And you see like something happens. And then immediately after it happens, a cop comes up and he's like, well, I wasn't doing anything, officer. And then as the officer leaves, he's like, I elbowed that guy in the face.
Yeah, and now we've got the fake news thing. I know BuzzFeed is horseshit. I mean horseshit. Look, it seems to me that we've got, to Rachel's point, we've got violent elements on the right and the left, and we're having a hard time talking to each other. And Dirk, I've called out Antifa on numerous occasions, but when people on the right side are enacting violence, I would have expected people on the right side of the village to say, hey, this isn't right, this isn't what we do, we believe in free speech. I'm very surprised that this guy is posting YouTube or Instagram clips of somebody who killed somebody who was in the middle of a public debate. Like, what? Like, that's the essence of what the right wing is supposed to stand for. Isn't it supposed to be like we're for public debate and settling the issue in the public square? Like, what's happening? Anyway, okay, so we don't have anybody on the right side that wants to come in and talk about the right, free speech except
I mean, people are kind of talking, like, from what I can gather, based on the whole Proud Boy situation, is supposedly there may have been an incident where a Proud Boy or someone like that had possibly been robbed by some antifa individuals or whatever. As far as we can tell, that's still unknown. It's a theory or claim because supposedly one of the people yelled, "He's a Nazi" or something as they were being arrested or something. But separate from that was the incident where we do have all that video footage where apparently one of the Antifa type people supposedly may have attempted to knock off one of their hats. And then that massive chase happens where you see like 10 people just beating the shit out of like 3 people on the ground.
Okay, I see now. Yeah, but even because I'm looking at that thing that you sent me, and the guy basically says nobody got attacked who wasn't asking for it or something like that. Which, if somebody knocks off your hat off your head, that doesn't give you justification to go and beat the hell out of him at a clip of 3 people versus 10. There is no
justification whatsoever for that. And they deserve all the horrible optics they're getting for this right now.
Yeah. Okay, so shit, man. So Deaf Man, you got a sick kid, and then you got another kid who broke his leg. God almighty. Foo Fighters, do you want to call us up and have a discussion? So, BM Fan, you're on the left, I'm in the middle, and I'm assuming Foo Fighters is on the right. So we can have a nice peaceful discussion.
Also keep in mind, none of them are remotely willing to defend the reality of that. Once again, this was a celebration of an assassination.
Yeah, what the hell? You can't. This is very strange to me.
Yeah.
No, I can't. No, I'm not gonna have you, Ben, call in as a right winger. I need somebody who's an actual right winger. Anyway, good lord. Okay.
Now they're saying it was a comedy act. That's why Gavin posted that photo on his Instagram, clearly.
Yeah, but Mystery, you're on the right wing, but do you know what happened with this situation? This seems indefensible to me. Like I'm very surprised that I don't see a bunch of right wingers saying, "What the fuck? We don't believe in this." Blah 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 blah. But yeah, I get it. He's a troll, but in our current political climate, do you think it's wise to post an Instagram picture of a guy assassinating a head of a political leader? like in our current milieu, like, is that the smartest thing to do? I just think we got to do better. Okay, I'm Death Fan. You're in all caps, brother. I got the big homie BM fan. He's waiting for you.
I mean, I can send you plenty of like video footage of Gavin Mcinnes. That should help us all learn about who he is, how frequently he says like the N word and things like that.
Well, the N word doesn't bother me, but the celebrating the assassination of another human being is what bothers me. Why do I need to learn who he is, Death Fan? This is strange to me. Why do I like when we were talking about Antifa? You weren't saying we need to know who these people are. So why do we need to know about who the fucking guy who's celebrating murder, blatant murder of political opponents, in probably the most electric political environment we've ever been in? Why do I need to know who he is as a person? Yeah, the left has called for assassinations of Trump. Mystery, that's true. But now we've got people on the right who won't necessarily call for assassinations of any specific people, but will post a live action shot. Is that a live action shot, BM?
What is
the
photo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the assassination.
Yeah, he's posting a live action shot. That's bananas to me.
Yeah.
That is bananas to me. I need
And like I said, it's televised. Like there is video footage of that. You could go watch it on YouTube right now if you want.
I am not looking that shit up. His posts are what people really think instead of hiding their... Yeah, I hear that all the time. It's what people really think. So are you saying his posts... So you're saying that people really do want to assassinate their political opponents with a sword in broad daylight? Fred? Fred, call up, please. Yeah, I agree. All right, I think we have a winner here. Hold on. How do I merge? Merge calls. Who's this? Who's speaking to me? Who's this? Hello.
Oh, please merge that shit.
You look like you're itching to call, my guy.
Yeah, I sound like I'm itching to call maybe, but I had to call in really quick. I only got a couple of minutes here because I got a lot of shit going on here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your kid. So what happened? He broke his leg?
Yeah, so I have the kid on October 2nd.
Yeah.
So I'm about to go back to work tomorrow, and 2 days ago, early morning, I brought him down, and this toy that I bought him, and he fell in like 2 seconds, man. He just broke his right tibia.
Oh my God.
And he's only 1.5 years old. He's 19 months, so he's a little over that, but he just doesn't understand what's going on. So it's been heart-wrenching, terrible. Any of you commenters, by the way, that have kids understand. The ones that don't, just when you have kids, you'll understand.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So.
BM fan, are you online? BM fan. BM fan, I'm calling you, so hang up with me right now and then get back on. Okay, so when BM fan calls us back, so talk to me about this situation, man. Were you familiar with this? This guy's posting pictures of people getting assassinated.
Okay, so you're talking about Gavin Mcinnes. He's posting that picture from was it Japan a long time ago, or he's doing that? He's assassinating that socialist politician or something like. I'm not even sure, man. I'm halfway here because I'm half dead and asleep. But is that what you're talking about? I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. Who gives a shit about that? First of all,
I do.
Okay. Are you familiar with 4chan? Do you understand the power and influence that 4chan has over everything?
I do, but why are you just dismissing that? Don't you think that's irresponsible to post, given our current political climate? Somebody
posting a... No, I mean, okay, so you're posting a picture of someone getting assassinated. Okay, I've seen... No, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? Have you seen the shit coming out of the left in the last, I don't know, ever since Trump got elected? I've seen his head got cut off. I've seen
And that was wrong. That was
I'm
wrong.
not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right, but here's the thing. It's like these guys are going to be like, okay, you're going to do that kind of shit. We're going to respond the same way.
And you think that that's wise? That's wise to do in our current political climate?
I don't think it's wise. I mean, who the hell knows what that even means? What's wise? It's a crazy time that we live in, and people are willing to say or do anything by hook or by crook to win.
No.
Okay, for instance, I saw your BuzzFeed fucking video that you posted, right? Did you see the bottom of that? You scroll all the way down, you see all the people that are supposedly white nationalists.
By the way,
the OK power sign.
By the way, BM fan is online, so you can talk to him directly.
BM. So I've always been wondering, what does BM stand for? Black metal. Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
So you're M Death fan and he's BM fan. You guys should be brothers, but here you are on completely different sides.
You're what? Melodeath? Megadeth. Mellow Death. Actually, Megadeth. No, Melodeath. I hear that as Melodeath. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not sitting there screaming like a stuck pig. No, I actually can play circles around most people that can actually play music, so that's the difference.
All right, brothers.
What does that even mean?
Wait, stop. Brothers, let's have a serious conversation, okay? Because M Death, you're on the right, and then BM's on the left.
I hate labels, though, man.
I know we hate labels.
Right now.
I know we hate labels, but we're gonna use them because not everybody's smart as y'all, especially not me. So what I want to know is, BM fan, go ahead, respond to what you've heard in a civil way, please.
I didn't even hear what he said.
Okay. M Death fan, go ahead and say what you said. You said the picture of the assassination, not a big deal.
No, it's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. Actually, I don't really know what's going on in the current pop culture, meme wars today. The gist that I got is you're saying it's shit posting and who cares? I've seen Trump with his head cut off. I've seen crazy shit with Melania. I've seen crazy shit with his daughter. I've seen this and that and the other thing. I'm supposed to be sitting here worried about a picture of some dude actually assassinating another dude back like 50 or 70 years ago, and I'm supposed to be offended by it? Okay, just explain that to me, please. I mean, there's a difference between, let's say, to bring things back to music, let's say Cannibal Corpse. When Cannibal Corpse are doing, violent things in their lyrics, it's because it's just gory and it's horror. There's a difference between when you have something actually real. Okay, so you're saying that someone that's bringing up a historical picture that actually happened in a certain, how many years ago, is bad versus someone's talking about Icon Blood? Yes. That's like, how is that any different? I mean, what are we talking about here? Is this a serious conversation? Like, can we start over again and talk about who Gavin Mcinnes is?
Okay.
And do you even know? Do you really know who he is? Or are you just sitting there talking about you've read memes and you've heard things, or do you actually know what he says and what he believes in? I mean, do you want me to quote the Southern Poverty Law Center and stuff like that? The Southern Poverty Law Center. Yeah. You really want to quote them?
Okay, hold on, stop. BM, do you have a direct quote from Gavin?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, get me something from Gavin. I'm definitely. I have no idea who this guy is. This is the first I'm hearing of this brother. All I know is
that's absolutely fine. And I don't fault you for that. But you can't. We're never going to get through this right here, right now, in the moment. You're both going to have to go back and do proper research to come back with a real answer.
No, I don't. You're completely wrong. Listen, if somebody posts a swastika on their Instagram feed, I don't need to do a bunch of or hammer and a sickle. I don't need to do a bunch of research on them.
I don't know exactly what happened. You'd have to show me the actual post so I can see what you're talking about. I only saw some 17-year-old Japanese dude, I think it was Japanese, they got a snapshot and he's ready to go in and kill some other politician.
He's killing a socialist.
Okay.
And then in the tag it says, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. And he's saying this. He's saying this in a current political climate where leftists are using violence, right? And calling themselves socialists. And he's posting something where somebody kills a socialist. You don't think that that's problematic at all?
I don't like like it. I don't fucking like it at all. But let me tell you something. So then let's talk about the conversely, the other side of that, the yang of that, right? What have you seen in the last year that's just as bad? I'm not saying that this is right or this is wrong.
Death fan, hold on, brother. I talked at length with BM Fan for about a half an hour to 45 minutes about how fucked up Antifa is. We're not going to do this. Okay. Well, what about that? We're not doing that. What I'm talking about now is, now we're focusing on these motherfuckers on the right who are using violence and are using hateful rhetoric and are being irresponsible. And what I'm talking about is, why can't we just focus on them? I don't want to hear about Antifa. Everybody knows how I feel about Antifa. I need you to talk to me about what's going on this side of the right wing. Do you agree with this methodology? Do you agree with using violence? Do you agree? No. Okay, so you're repudiating what this guy has done.
You have to understand who this guy is to see how he trolls people. I'm sorry, you have to understand that part.
So you're not gonna repudiate that.
What's that?
So you're not gonna repudiate what he's doing.
It's not that simple, man. I'm sorry, I can't. It's not that simple. It's not that simple.
Okay. Well, I mean, when I talked to BM Fan, he was saying the same shit about Antifa.
Okay, well, Antifa, okay, look, first of all, let's talk about the racial divide in this country, right? I've been thinking about this a lot, even, when you're not on Fireside and stuff like that. That's just why this is great, by the way, and I know your viewers agree. Everyone's like, it's getting people thinking again. It's like a second renaissance going on right now. People are starving for information. It's crazy times. We live in like Sodom and Gomorrah, and things are coming at us in every which way, and every which way spun, and how do you make sense of all this shit, right? But I've been doing it. So I'm a former Marine. I'm a combat vet. I came out of that shit. I saw how that was reported in the media. This is how I got into all this shit. I'm giving you a long story. I don't want to go into it too much to bore everybody, but I've been watching this shit go on since then to now. And if you don't know the story that's happened, the things that have happened, and how things have changed in this country, and people are just literally looking at their phones and scrolling and learning about the world and thinking that whatever they've subscribed to and whatever page they like is going to, dictate in their echo chamber, like what is going on with the world. No wonder we're at this moment in time. But it goes back, you have to man, we could talk for hours, man. This is why we need to have a real fireside chat, man. Have a couple beers and really talk, because it's a deep conversation. It's kind of like Jordan Peterson says, where I wrote a book about that shit. How am I going to talk about it in 2 minutes? I don't know. Does that make any sense to you, or am I just tired?
It makes a lot of sense to me, and I think what we're trying to accomplish with these discussions.
I want us all to come together. That's what I want. Yeah. I think that's what's important, and that I think we should have a presupposition that people are willing to do whatever it takes by hook or by crook to win power, and we have to come. Let's start with what we both agree on, and that's one of the things that I agree on. I mean, do you believe that people believe it on both sides? There are people that are willing to do anything to win power.
Right, and what I'm saying is those are the people that we need to repudiate.
I agree with you 100%.
And we shouldn't justify or normalize. And I don't want to insult anyone, but I've got 4 kids.
I'm here. Me too.
So I bring one kid. I said, "What the fuck did you do? Why did you do that?" Mm-hmm. Immediately, I don't hear any ownership or responsibility. They always say, "Well, what about so and so?" So when I go to Antifa and I say, "You guys are assaulting people for having American flags. This is America. This is free speech. What the fuck is wrong with you?" You know what they do? They say, "Well, what about those people on the right? How come you never talk about the right?" Well, I talked to BM Fan, who's an Antifa guy. He's not in Antifa, to my knowledge, but he's sympathetic to them, and I raked the guy across the coals. But at least he stood up and said, "Hey, this is what I believe. This is what I support, etc." Now I got a guy on the right side. I don't know, Franz Ferdinand. I mean, that was World War, right? That created a World War. One assassination sent the entire world into bloodshed, right?
Yes.
So now here's the setup, bro. You've got right wingers who are characterizing leftists as socialists, to their own detriment because socialists are saying the Bernie and or all these guys are saying that they're socialists, right? So that's in the ether. Then you've got people on the left side initiating violence, like the Antifa thing in, was it Oregon, when they were controlling traffic?
Yeah. You said that fat girl, she's like, sorry, I don't mean to hit on the fact. She's like, sorry, you got to turn right.
Right, and the guy goes,
I'm sorry, why you got? I mean, I'm sorry. I have kids now, so I don't have the luxury of principles. But back in my day, if that should happen, I'm sorry, that's not going down.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if you heard, but the guy says why, and she said because I said so. What?
I heard that.
So now you got all this anger on the right side, right? Then there is this conflict, and this guy posts a image of a kid killing a socialist. And you don't think there's any subliminal...
I know where you're coming from, man. I know where you're coming from.
Okay, and what I'm saying is, that is not the way to elevate the conversation. That is the way to go down and lower and create, incite more violence. You know how many... Bro, we're just some dinky backwoods YouTube channel from Maine. We're not famous at all. We got 12 million views. So this guy apparently has a name. You think he's going to be able to control how everybody interprets that picture?
Gavin Mcinnes?
Yeah.
If you understand Gavin Mcinnes, dude, I think that you will look at him. You will look at the whole thing differently. I'll give you a couple weeks, man.
Do you know any? Let me ask you a question. Do you know anybody from the intelligence community?
Yeah, I do.
Do you know what psychological operations are?
I do.
Okay. So when we drop leaflets in certain areas to influence certain behaviors, right? You know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
We drop shit. We drop shit like this in certain areas before we send in the fucking Green Berets to recruit people. You realize that?
I can speak to this very much because I'm a combat veteran and I know a lot about this shit.
So can I.
So I do not agree. I do not agree with our country's foreign policy in a lot of ways.
Hold on, but you and I both know that when we're about to send Green Berets to go and recruit and train people, before you send the CIA block in there to start fomenting resistance, and then you send the Green Berets in there to train the people who are willing to resist, you drop leaflets like this, right? To recruit people, right or wrong?
It does happen.
Okay, so you agree that we do this shit in other countries to foment violence.
I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
But it's happening in our country. M-Death fan, you have the background. BM fan, I guarantee you, doesn't have the background. You know that in other countries we do this to foment violence. So why are you acting like, oh man, it's just an Instagram post, when you know good and well that if a couple million people look at this, one person is going to be stupid and do some dumb shit. Eventually, right?
It's the nature of free speech, man. It's the nature of it. You cannot speak for everybody. Everyone has their own voice, and it's too much of a deep conversation to have at this moment.
And you won't repudiate it because it's somebody on your side who's going against Antifa, who you have.
It's not on my side, man. Okay, look, here's the thing, okay? This is what we need to have another conversation, because I think this all ties to Christianity, and there's much more that I would like to go and delve in deep into that shit, because this is the problem, man. I know that you're a Christian, and I know that you're into this political crap, but where does it meld? Where does it touch? How do you explain it in your Christian worldview? I think there is a...
How I explain it is that the job of responsible people in this country, Christian or otherwise, is to show the contrast between people who use violence to get across their message or stifle other people's message versus people who are confident and secure that their message is the best thing for the American people. Let me ask you something.
Who is using the violence right now?
Both sides are using violence now.
Oh, no. Who's using the violence right now? Okay, first of all,
who used the violence on Saturday?
Inside here, how many KKK are supposed in the United States right now?
I don't know.
3,000 in the whole country. How many fucking Antifa people are out there? Like, okay, 3,000. So I'm pretty good at math. 3,000 in the country. I have 50 states. It's probably like 60 people are state. Okay, that ain't shit. How many Antifa people are out there right now willing to do this shit?
Wait. You didn't ask me who has bigger numbers. You asked me who's using violence.
I don't see. I mean, okay, look.
Did the Proud Boys use violence last week? Yes or no?
So I looked into it a little bit when I saw it happen, and I think that it did happen that way. Well, it did at least. There was someone got their ass kicked, but I think you should look to see who actually started the fight.
Oh my God! Doesn't this sound like childishness to you? What about
It does,
them?
but I
They
hate it.
started it.
And that's the problem. That's the problem that's why I want to talk about Christianity, and I want to talk about the real purpose of being here, Vin. I don't give a shit about, but because it's he said, she said, and here we are, fucking 3,000 miles away or 2,000 miles away, talking about what we saw reported on the news and all that shit. We're fighting about it, and it's like, what echo chamber are we in? What's right? What's wrong? I want to go deeper than that. That's where I want to go, Vin.
All right. Well, the next time you call, you let's do it. But you should have repudiated that action. That's a terrible look.
I will. Okay. Look, I'll give you this. I don't want anyone fighting. I want us to all get along, man. I want us to be friends. I want us to understand each other. I think we're a lot more. Everyone. Okay. Look, I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps. I got treated worse than most people understand. I got treated like shit.
By who?
Worse in the Marines. I was in the Marines, bro. Do you understand what that means? Like, it doesn't mean that I'm a badass or all that stuff. I'm just telling you, I was with people that from all over the country, white, black, red, yellow.
No, it means you're a badass, for sure.
It means this, and I'm just telling you from my experience from that, we all joked at each other, we all got along, we were human beings, we were in the worst of the worst in the shit. And I come out of that, it's always been hard for me to assimilate back in society when everyone's so like racial and all. It doesn't matter. I'm still good friends with all these people. They still keep in contact with me. I still keep in contact with them. I love them. I still take a bullet for them. And that's where we need to get. I think people in the raw moment are pretty similar, man. And
I agree with that.
And beyond that, that's all, man. It's
no,
just the truth.
No, we're agreeing with that. I agree with you 100%. What I'm saying is that this type of action and that type of rhetoric and that type of use of free speech is not what we need to be doing in order to elevate the conversation in this country. And I think that we've all got a role to play as to what we put out in the ether. Especially you understand that we use images like that when we want to foment conflicts in other countries. If you agree with that, then you have to concede that that has the potential to foment physical conflicts in our country, right?
So I agree with you to some extent. But the thing is, like, I'm so surprised that people are so, I'm going to use the word butthurt about seeing this, when I've seen some crazy shit over the last couple of years that's way worse than some actual historical picture. Like talking about, and you know what I'm talking about. We live in a really weird climate today. But to say that this is the thing that we're all supposed to be, upset about,
but
with everything else that I've seen going on in the last couple of years, I'm not saying either is right. I'm not saying that. But
okay.
Why are we so surprised about this one singular issue?
Tell me what I'm saying. Tell me what I'm saying. What's my issue?
You don't like the fact that this is the way that we communicate with each other. If someone, it doesn't matter what side you're from, this is not the proper way to have a dialogue and a conversation about what's important.
Right. And
right? Am I right there? Okay. But the problem is that we're rational people. We think that we're rational because we think we know what that means. We live in this, we're much closer to the center than you and I. But there are a lot of people that are way all over the place, and they're ignorant, and they're this and they're that. We live in idiocracy, bro. Have you seen that movie?
you're BM fan. Are you on still? BM fan.
Yep.
Okay. I want you to jump.
I've just been letting you guys go at it.
Well, I agree. We live in an idiocracy, but doesn't that prove my point? That we need to be extra. Doesn't it prove that logical, responsible people need to be more careful, considering we're living in an idiocracy?
I can answer that.
Go for it.
This just proves that human government doesn't work, and that we need God to come back, and thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, I agree with you, but he's not just going to magically come down and fix things. I mean, he's left us with certain principles. MDeath fan that we
Well,
have
I
to
mean,
follow.
you got to read the Bible. I mean, what does the Bible say? I mean, if you actually believe in that, what's going to happen at the end? I think there's a lot to it, and it's probably going to be pretty bad. I don't know. We'll see.
That's completely the opposite of what the Bible says about the future, but we'll talk about it next time you call.
Well, no, the future, yes, but the hard time in the 7 years. Anyway, I'm saying that time where it is going to be bad.
No, the Bible doesn't say anything about 7 years of anything badness.
I disagree.
Okay, next time you call, we'll talk about it. So some of this is motivated by your theology. You think that things are going to get really, really bad, so you're hunkering down for a cultural jihad.
What?
No, it's a question. I'm not going after you. I mean, it's a question.
Okay. No. That's just my worldview. That's nothing to do with this conversation. I'm sorry. It is connected in my brain, but no, I'm not saying that. Okay, look, we just need to figure out how to have a dialogue. We need to figure out how to talk to each other. We need to stop. We need to turn off. Okay, look, I told you before. It's a monolithic media. Do you see that now? Have you seen a little bit of that?
Well, you know what I did? You made a comment a couple weeks ago, and it inspired me to start watching the news.
Yeah.
And so I watched MSNBC, CNN, and Fox. And good Lord.
Yeah, man, it's bad. It's so bad.
It's like the lack of objectivity about the exact same fucking subject is amazing to me. BM fan, talk to MDeath fan. What are you hearing from our conversation?
I mean, right now I generally would agree with what you're saying, obviously. For the most part, I feel like you're just kind of trying to downplay everything. Which, I mean, it's your side. I mean, I basically, as Vin mentioned before, like he went hard on me was it 2 months ago, probably now or something like that.
Yeah.
But like it's, to me, it's kind of like a situation where I think the end goal is something that I agree with. So like I do generally support the actions of Antifa. Obviously, I don't support every Antifa because no Antifa is really the same.
Okay, so let me ask you something.
Portland,
Let me ask you
for instance,
something.
is not Antifa New York or whatever.
Oh, they're not Antifa. They're not. So they're okay. So if I go in the streets and I literally stop traffic and I want to, literally put a black mask on and
do you have
intimidate people?
Do you have any proof that what happened in Portland was actually Antifa?
Okay, so now we're going to go philosophical because really, do you have any proof other than what you've heard on your streaming internet service or your news? I mean, do you really know? No. But I've seen it enough. It's all over the internet, man. Have you seen what's going on?
Like if you look at the thing you're mentioning about Portland, okay, there isn't really any indication that was Antifa doing that.
Well, okay, stop right there, because I don't want to get lost.
It just looked like black bloc.
Stop. I don't want to get lost in the weeds. Let's say, BM fan, that it was Antifa.
Brown shirts.
Let's just assume it was Antifa. Ask your question, MDeath.
What was that?
Ask your question. So we're assuming it was Antifa. Ask your question to MDeath fan.
Assuming Portland was Antifa?
Yeah. So MDeath, talk to BM fan. Ask him your question.
Okay, so
let's assume that Portland was Antifa.
Okay.
Hmm?
So MDeath, what's your question?
You're asking me what my question is? He's been talking. Okay. What my question is?
Yeah, didn't you have a question for him about does he agree with what Antifa's doing or whatever?
I thought he was going to explain it. I thought he was going to talk about it. He just said it wasn't Antifa. How do you know if it's Antifa? We're getting off the rails here.
Okay. So he's assuming it's Antifa. BM fan, go ahead and explain.
You're assuming it's Antifa. For the sake of the conversation, I'll say, okay, sure. Let's say that it was Antifa.
Okay, go for it.
Anyone with under 45 degree, or 45 IQ, Okay, go ahead.
Why you gotta be that salty?
I mean, are you seeing what these people have done to nice people who's driving down the street?
Nice?
I have a problem with that. I do. And if I ever see that shit happen, it's not going to be. I mean, I think a lot of people aren't going to be okay with that.
You willingly perform vehicular manslaughter?
There has been a lot of good
BM
videos about that.
BM fan, I think that those kids know who to do that to and who not to do that to. Believe me. They're not doing that shit in the hood with black people.
Hell no.
Because they know we'll fuck them up. Okay.
I mean, do you know why they were doing that though?
I mean, if they're gonna die, then who gives a shit?
Well, no, like, do you know why they had blocked
No,
off
and
that
that's
street?
what I want you to explain to us. Tell us.
Because they were holding a vigil.
Okay.
Oh, it's so glorious.
They were holding a vigil because someone got killed by some cops.
Stop. And Death Fan.
Okay, that's
Patrick
different.
Kimmins. I think it was Patrick Kimmins.
Stop.
I don't know.
That's why you hear them yell out the name Patrick Kimmins.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay,
and Death Fan, let's be respectful.
I don't want to go bad there. I don't want to go anywhere negative there.
Let's be respectful. Okay, so what you're saying is they were blocking off the street because they were doing a vigil for somebody who got killed by the cops.
Yes.
Okay. But what about that video where they chased that old guy, got out of the car and they started hitting his car and all that? Did you see that part?
I think I saw clips of it.
Okay, what about that?
Probably not a good thing.
Okay, you're equivocating just like my brother was equivocating 5 minutes ago. Probably not a good thing or not a good thing?
Okay, not a good thing.
Okay, do you repudiate that type of use of violence and intimidation against your fellow citizens? You won't do it, will you?
I mean, my thought on the matter is, like, you know, they're blocking off the street. They're just, you know, they're pointing people towards the detour. Like, the guy, you know, you don't have to start making a scene out of it, I suppose. But I mean, their response to start, you know, doing whatever they did was bad.
So you repudiated. They shouldn't have done it.
Sure, I'll go with that.
Okay, bless God, we're getting somewhere. You're wrong, Mystery. We're getting places.
I don't think you can bless God, Vin, but okay.
Okay.
Like I said, just for the purpose of the conversation, we said that yes, that was Antifa, but I mean, there is really no indication that it was.
Okay, now M Death Fan, do you agree that it was valid for them to block off the street in the case of this vigil, or no?
Oh man, if that is the case, which we don't know, and I've seen a lot of other things that have happened over the last few years, that I wouldn't say it's always a vigil, but in that kind of case, I just don't think that you should. Okay, look, you can do whatever you want, you can protest, you should be able to do whatever you want, but don't get in the front of people that have no idea what the hell is going on in front of them. Okay, look, I'm from Chicago, right? I live in liberal central, you could say, and central of the country, and more than that. And I was so I decided to go downtown, and I'll be straight with you guys. I went downtown for the Trump rally in downtown Chicago. That actually got closed down because of all the protesters that went there. And I thought it'd be nuts, so I went. I'm like that. So
I could tell.
Yeah, I'm like that. That's me. So what was happening though is all these people were showing up, and these people were just getting poured in. They were giving them printed signs that didn't even make any sense, and they had like ambulances coming in. They were stopping the ambulances from getting through by protesting. I mean, can you imagine? It was just ridiculous. It was just an unbelievable offense to the First Amendment. And look. People should be able to talk and have dialogue like you and I. If people were going to get in between you and I, if somehow people could somehow protest in the comments and like knock us offline, I mean, is that right? Is that right, or should we be able to speak and should we be able to have a dialogue and somehow maybe come to an understanding over time? I'm against that. I think everyone should be able to have a rational conversation. You should be able to entertain a thought without accepting it, and that's just my worldview. And if you think otherwise, I mean, I'm sorry. I just think it's negative. And like, if you can't have a conversation and argue with somebody, then you're never going to be able to come to some, common ground. So, in my opinion, that's just paramount.
Okay. BM Fan, do you think that there's any way for a person like you and a person like M Death to ever come to some sort of compromise or consensus on what needs to happen?
I think the main thing is that we need to move towards a society wherein we value basically human life, ultimately.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that a lot of like, say right-wing kind of views or whatever, all this Nazi stuff, all these white ethno-state kind of things you're hearing about, like that, the end goal of that is just lots and lots of death. Like when people talk about ethno-states, like there's only one way to make an ethno-state, and that's to kill everyone else.
Yeah, but do you believe that most people in the right wing want
Who the
an
hell believes that
ethno-state?
shit? Seriously, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, no,
That's
interrupt me. I'm
the
just a
alt-right.
moderator. I'm not important.
There's the alt-right, I suppose, but that is what the alt-right is. The alt-right is very much believes in the Jewish question and all sorts of crap like that.
I disagree 100%.
No, that's the difference between the alt-right and the alt-light. Maybe you're confused with the alt-light, but the alt-right, like the
No, this is confusing. This is confusing.
All that kind of
Well,
I
stuff.
mean, how the hell can that even make sense to
That
this?
is fundamentally Richard Spencer, all that stuff. That's very much so focused on the Jewish question.
Yes, we agree. Richard Spencer is that type of guy. But here's my question. What do you think the percentage of people who would vote for Trump and identify as right-wing, right? Or conservative, whatever we want to call it. What do you think the percentage is of them that are follow a Richard Spencer or care about the Jewish question? So 1%? Is it 55%?
Trump supporters, Trump's base is, 20% of the country?
What?
Okay.
We fucking won the election.
You do realize half the country didn't vote, right?
Okay, well, it depends how you look at it. Like, what, kids? Ha ha ha, are you laughing? Really? Is this funny? I mean,
No,
you're talking about
yes.
senior citizens? Are you
No,
talking about young
yes,
kids?
there is
Are you talking
legit,
about
like,
idiocracy crowd that
less than
doesn't know what the
20%
fuck's
of the
going on? They can't
Guys,
find
stop
their
talking
fucking
over each other,
in
please.
broad daylight.
Do you
Stop
not
talking over each other.
understand how this works? No, yeah, Trump's base is basically like 20% of the entire country. Of that percent, I don't know, maybe like. Also, actually, the other thing is you got to look into like the QAnon people, because that's kind of leaning in that direction also. Let's say like 5 to 7% of them.
5 to 7% of the millions of people that voted for Trump are genocidal ethnostatists.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Or they may not be it right now, but they could be pushed in that manner.
Okay. What data do you have that supports that?
Let's see.
Did you
I
just
would point towards the influx of white nationalist propaganda on Fox News.
Sorry, I think you're high as draft pussy.
Such as, Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham
All right.
recently were doing some very white nationalist
All right,
type talk.
BM fan, you know me by now. You know how my mind works, right?
Sure, yep.
You got to give me hard data.
But you want actual empirical evidence. I do not have actual empirical.
Yeah.
I will admit this is a feels over reels.
Okay, so this is something I want you to think about, because it's very possible that you have a prejudice against people on the conservative side, and I think if you did the numbers, you would be surprised, maybe even encouraged, that it's not as high as 5 to 7%. It's probably closer to 0.3%, if that. I think you've demonized everybody on the right wing, or a large chunk of them, and I don't think it's that extreme. I don't think, for example, that M. Death Fan, who supports our channel, loves our channel, is a racist. Now, I know that you can have black friends and still be racist as hell. Believe me, I'm in Maine. But characterizing people on the other side in these demonic terms, I think, is unhelpful. So what I want you to do...
I'll fully agree with that. I actually just made a post on Facebook right now, because a really popular right-wing meme right now is the NPC meme. Have you heard about that?
No, what is that?
The NPC meme going around right now, it's basically just meant to dehumanize. It kind of asserts the notion that the other side or whatever is an NPC. So all they do is basically just follow their programming to come
What's
up with,
what's an
responses to
NPC?
things. Non-player character. It's a video game term.
So we're like not people?
Oh, I see. So we're talking about dehumanizing people.
Yes.
Right.
And that's a really popular right-wing meme going around. But also the left is using it too. And I actually mentioned in the poem, it's a funny meme, but the reality is that this is, it's fundamentally dehumanizing.
Right, and you're seeing that there's a message beneath the ha 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 funny shit.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I'm worried about. Because I don't think all. I'm Deaf Fan. I want you to make some closing statements here. I don't think that all of us have a full appreciation for the fact that we're in a social media 24-hour news cycle context and what that is doing to our minds and what that does to the way that we think. And I can tell you, and don't anybody ask me, but we have done things like this in other countries at much lower scales and have fomented wars. I'll say
I can tell you all about Syria alone. I mean, what happened in Syria, right, is just the saddest thing ever. If Americans understood what we have done to cause the deaths of lots of people in Syria. Again, I was in Iraq, and I know a lot of people in Afghanistan. I could talk a lot about our foreign policy, man. I mean, people would be unbelievably surprised to hear about what's happened.
There's foreign policy, but then there are tactics and strategies that get used to foment conflicts that end in bloodshed in other countries.
You're right. It does happen.
Right. And what I'm saying is the shit that we used to have psychological operators doing in other countries to set up CIA and Green Beret recruitment and training is happening in mass at a psychological level in our country. And I'm not saying there are outside players doing it. I'm not saying that there are outside players doing it. I'm saying the same principles of imagery and demonization and dehumanization of the other and images and quick flashes of things. Those are the things that we used at a much smaller scale. And what I'm saying is I don't think we're seeing the danger here. So if you have certain backgrounds and understandings of things, it concerns you because you go, what the fuck? I've seen this before. So that's where I'm at. So a lot of people are like, oh, haha, it's just funny. Well, look, the Kristallnacht didn't just happen overnight. There were articles in German newspapers with making fun of Jews and elongating noses, etc. before you went there.
Yep.
So that's what I'm worried about. Okay, MDef fan, go for it.
Well, I mean, you're right. Back then, it was a little different than it is today. We live in a different age. We live in the internet age, and we're actually well into it. And look what it's turned into, man. I remember when it first came out, like, what was a newer thing to be on the internet. Everyone was so excited about, what this is going to give human beings to be able to do and communicate. And it just became a direct reflection of society, like almost like a catalyst for its own destruction. That's almost like what 4chan and all these other crazy websites are. But, internally, like what the country does externally, it's worse than people understand. And I don't even want to get into that because it's why I am the way I am. It is why I question, news reported. It's very important to do so. We don't live. Okay, here's the thing. We live in capitalistic society. I still believe that is the best of the worst ideas we've had. But it is susceptible to crony capitalism, and that's what happens. And when you have corporate news, and then when you have presidents, allowing propaganda against American people, and this is fact, by the way. And I know, this is my opinion, Vin, and I'm going to be going out on a limb here. I think you know more than you could let on, and I know that you listen to a lot of different other sources, then you kind of get an idea what I'm talking about. There is some things to be said about that, and you should question the news that is presented to you. It's very hard for the normal American citizen to be like, well, how do you figure this shit out? Where do you go? What www.what to figure this crap out? I'm sorry, it just takes a long time, and you have to be really motivated into it to kind of get an idea what the fuck is going on. But if you just listen to what the boob tube tells you, it's going to get everyone pitted against each other because there are people that's their job. It's like they want to win by hook or by crook, no matter what, to win the desired outcome, even if it means misinformation and selling. It is what goes on in this country, and the sooner that Americans figure this out, the better. That's all I have to say.
That's good. That's really good, guys. And the last thing I'd say is sit back and think about who benefits by us being at each other's throats. To piggyback off of what MDef says, who benefits by us all being at each other's throats, whether over the internet, in meme wars, or even on the streets. Because that's the question. Okay. I really, really appreciate you guys. I love you, M. Death. You're gonna call back. Go take care of your kids. Say hi to your wife. She's a hero.
And you know what, BM fan, we're cool, man. I have no animosity towards you, no anger and animosity in my heart. I was just having conversations, and then all of a sudden, like, you start, like, throwing this crowd. I'm like, what's the point of that? Like, what?
He's a Marine. Once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. You always need...
like, what's the point of bringing up that? Like,
he had a combat MOS. Hey, M. Death, you play guitar, huh? You're pretty prolific on the guitar?
You know, I'm getting there. I still play, though. I got a Dave Mustaine Angels of Death VMNT and a Marshall full stack, and, yeah. It rips the fucking neighborhood.
No shit. All right. Love you, my brother. Have a good one.
Take it easy, guys. Later, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, BM fan. Very good, sir.
Alrighty. Oh, did I ever send you my band?
No, you never did. You're in a band?
Yeah, I'm in a band.
Is it called Antifa?
No. Although, if on the topic of, like, Antifa music, there's a band that recently got really popular called Neckbeard Death Camp. That's pretty fun.
Okay.
If you're curious.
All right. I'll check it out, bro. Send me your. Hey, BM, you're one of my guys. When you're not dodging me on. Anytime one of your Antifa people does something bad, you always dodge me. You never want to come online because you know I'm gonna smoke you.
That's cool. I'd love to chat about, like, music and stuff too. So, because, like, earlier you were talking about like Venom and things like that, and I can totally help you, dive more into that stuff too.
Well, your band is interesting. Are you in Deathspell Omega?
No. I wish I was.
Oh. So explain to me a little bit before I get out of here. What? And Mystery, are you around? Where's Mystery? Did he leave? He gave up on me. What a friend he is. What a terrible human being. Okay. So what is avant-garde? Because you keep saying that term. Like, I know what the term means, but what does that mean in metal? Is that an actual...
Avant-garde is an actual term for...
Is it a genre?
A genre of music, or in this case, like a genre of metal. It's basically kind of think of prog, but much more difficult to listen to. I guess that's kind of the simplest way to think of it.
More difficult to listen to, or to play, or both?
Definitely to listen to, I would argue.
Okay.
I don't think there's really a specific definition for avant-garde. I mean, like, generally, like, when I showed you that song, Si Monumentum, Sola Fide 2, like, that's not avant-garde. That's very much just, like, pretty traditional sounding black metal, very Swedish sounding black metal, actually, to be specific. But when you get into the other stuff that I sent you in that email, that starts pushing more towards the avant-garde, especially that second and third one.
Okay.
Like when you listen to that second one, like, that is, you are not going to have fun listening to that.
Well, I want to. I haven't listened to it.
That's why I was warning you. I'm like, this is some crazy stuff. Like, you're probably not gonna like this.
But what's the draw for you?
It's just, like, it's so fascinating. It's super technical. It's dissonant. I love dissonance. It's just wild. It's a trip.
I could tell you love dissonance. You and your buddies causing all this dissonance in this country that I love, sir. All right. I love you, my brother. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. It's good chat.
Yep.
Later, chat.
Bye. Little bit of a bumpy plane ride. Little bit of turbulence. But I think we can all agree that the ending was beautiful. It's like the Bible says, better is the ending of a matter than the beginning thereof. And who do we have on the line? Hold on, let me see. Am I on speaker yet? Who is this dark character? Who is this?
You know who this is.
Who this?
You know who this is.
Okay. So this is my buddy, Mist. Mist, my guy.
Well, I like how you were just talking about avant-garde music because the one band that I told you that, you know, the project that I do that I told you about is avant-garde music, so
No shit.
yeah,
And you do the guitar work on that one, right? Or
I do all of it except for the drums.
so what is it about that genre? Like, is it why did you need that outlet?
I think it's just fun to do things that are outside the norm, especially metal music, because when you're a metal band, people expect certain things from you, and you know when you're an avant-garde metal band, people never know what to expect, and that's one of my favorite aspects of it.
Oh, okay. So you can, you know, there doesn't
Surprise people.
there doesn't seem to be a lot of avant-garde bands out there.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people, it's really risky to dive into making avant-garde music because people are either going to love it or they're going to completely hate it.
They're gonna say
So
what the
it's definitely, yeah, so some people are afraid to dive into it and try it, but if done right, then I love it and people love it. So,
Who was a like first avant-garde band that you got into?
um, I mean, I wouldn't really call Death Spell avant-garde, but I'm really influenced by Death Spell as well as Blue Toss Nord, if you've heard of them.
No, I haven't heard of that one. I heard of Death Spell because what's his name? BM fan is a big Death Spell disciple.
Yeah.
So would you say like they're the top kind of avant-garde band out right now?
Who, Blue Toss Nord, or I would say Blue Toss Nord is.
Shit, more than Death Spell.
Well, Death Spell is more so like a black metal band, but they do include avant-garde elements, but Blue Toss Nord is more of an avant-garde band.
Have you ever worked with them, like on tour or whatnot?
Yes. I've worked with Blue Toss Nord only in the studio, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you more about it in private.
So where are you right now?
Chilly, dark Manhattan.
Oh, you got to jump on the plane again, huh?
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this trip that we just did to New York, but I am not looking forward to the long ass plane ride from Maine to L.A.
Well, that isn't much. I mean, compared to some of the traveling that some people do, but it is, you know, long flights are a bitch because you can't get up and walk around. You can't really do much of anything except sit on your computer or your phone or whatever. So, there isn't much opportunity to stretch your legs out, even though you don't have that problem because you don't have legs, but.
Fuck you. Now I'm figuring out you're not even gonna be there in LA when we touch down.
No, it depends. Like, if I'm not touring, then I most definitely will be there. So.
How's all? When are you guys gonna be on the East Coast? Well, a different conversation. Don't answer that question. Do not answer that question. Okay. Here, let's take some audience questions. Ranger wants to know how difficult is it to play in a mask?
I mean, it depends on what kind of mask you're wearing. If you're wearing like a thick latex mask, which I used to do, it's kind of difficult because it smells awful. It's very hot, it's very stuffy, and it can be hard to breathe and all that. But the ones that I wear now are actually quite breathable. The vision isn't the best, but it's something you have to get used to, and I'm used to it now. So, yes, I've heard of Crease Machine.
Heard of what?
Crease Machine. It's a band that Magua is also active in. It's Zentera and Darkside's side project.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. As if you should have went to New York yesterday.
Yeah, I should have. I mean, I probably could have got a jump start on the whole traveling thing, but I kind of wait till the last minute to leave because I'm just like, oh my god, I gotta go again. And
Bro, we could have.
I try to delay it as much as possible.
We could have doubled up, man.
Yeah. Well, one of these days I'm gonna have to bring you with me.
Yeah, that'll be legit. I'm gonna be completely mobile because I got a promotion type thing at my job.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna be completely mobile by that point. So it's very
that
possible.
Job, I would have to kill that guy who asked if I told him.
Yeah, that thing. So I'm gonna be like completely mobile at that point. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it might actually work. So I can bug you and I can like constantly lose in Fortnite.
Yeah, well, we gotta do that soon. We keep saying we're gonna do it, and then it just doesn't happen.
I know. It's because of you, man. Too busy being important and shit.
Yeah, well, I've got time tonight and I've got time tomorrow, so.
What's your what's the band that you'd most like to see us review next?
I would say Portal. You've got to do Portal.
Okay. Portal.
Yeah.
What song?
I would definitely do one of the newer ones because the older stuff of theirs is kind of, I mean, the newer stuff is more accessible. But I would do Freaks. It's spelled Phreqs. That's one of my favorite songs from the new record. But yeah, they're a badass band.
Okay. All right. That's on the list. That's on the list. Does anybody in the audience have any questions for the mystery caller?
It's true he's a Teletubby, yeah, because I played him as.
Adele, Lonnie Harris.
Yeah, Adele.
This is my guy, so I know him. See, we should play one of those couple games, Misty.
Yeah.
Did you see?
The four of us.
Hey, Miss, did you see that Head wished me and Sori a happy pregnancy?
Yeah, I was actually one of the first to see that video. Dan sent it to me on Twitter.
That was badass. What's going on, Osiris? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Nightmare?
Yes.
Are you in Guar?
No. What's my favorite food? I'm just gonna be basic and say pizza. Do I like Missionary Man by Ghost? Oh my god, what? Do we really, really want to go down this road, Rachel?
Answer the question, Misty.
No, I don't. If you give me $1, can you touch me on my face? You can try. Most violent show I've been to. I was in a pretty, I mean, it was pretty wild. We played in Poland earlier this year, I want to say, between April and May, and the circle pit was obnoxiously huge.
For your guys' band?
Yeah, like, it was actually the first time I've seen a pit like that at one of our gigs.
Does that make you happy, or are you like, I hope nobody gets hurt, or what? What are you thinking?
We kind of discourage like moshing and stuff like that because it's really a visual experience too. So, you know, when your intent is to bring like a great visual and audio experience, it kind of kills it when people are moshing because they can't take in the, you know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I would have a hard time at one of your shows doing that shit. Vin, are Dying Fetus a band you're refusing to review? No, we're gonna do Dying Fetus.
engage you. I just use 10 to 46. And as far as brand, I mean, it depends. But most of the time, I like Ernie Ball.
Do you like baby metal?
I mean, I acknowledge their existence, but yeah, the last 10 seconds of life is badass. Yep, EMG pickups. Sometimes Seymour Duncan. Infinite Annihilator. Oh my god.
What, you don't like Infinite Annihilator?
I mean, I like it, but the name is just like one of the edgiest things I've ever heard in my life. Have I ever played in a concert with Fontaine? I mean, like I played at the same festival as them, but it doesn't really count.
Oh, this is a good one. Have you ever injured yourself on stage?
I haven't really gotten injured, but I've gotten sick a few times.
Weren't you sick one of the times I was talking?
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten sick from the lights and stuff in my face, too.
Really? We mean like nauseous?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
I bet.
Have I ever played an acoustic set? Yes. Anyway, what?
Why don't you just look to the ground?
I mean, I could get away with it.
Freaking Rudy Hernandez, you bum. You're supposed to send me that finished song or whatever that you did with Zen. Where is it? Where is it, Rudy? Hey, Misty, Rudy's in a band, and it's a badass band. It's really good. I actually like him.
Oh, you'll have to send me some of their stuff then.
Yeah. The album's being mastered. He was supposed to like send me the song ahead of time and like let me do an interview with him and all that shit, and he never did. Nobody wants to do interviews with me. Only Head from Korn.
Any Gibson acoustic is my favorite acoustic. Dirk. Have I ever peed on stage? No. Am I sick of seeing phones in concerts instead of faces? Yes. I'm very sick of it.
Yeah, you mentioned that a lot.
Yeah. How many drinks is too many drinks before playing a set? Well, do you mean like alcoholic drinks or... I mean, I'm gonna assume he means alcoholic drinks and I don't drink before shows. Yeah, I don't drink anything before shows. Because, you know, alcohol is impairing and we can't really be impaired.
No, you definitely cannot. Good Lord, that'd be a disaster.
Nah, Taylor guitars are overpriced pieces of shit. Do you think Tag's forehead pick would fit well on Kim Macklин's face without an upper half? Oh, Ben. Yes.
Listen, if you're ever in the Iowa area, we gotta snatch up Ben on our world tour.
Yeah, we do. He'd be a funny guy.
Yeah, we gotta snatch him up on the world tour and then kick him out like in the middle of nowhere. Let him walk back home.
The groupie situation. I mean, it happens, but it's also something we discourage. We don't like groupies.
As if you asked that question, Damon Sate. Well, they don't know your current status, do they?
The True Cult people do.
Oh, okay.
As long as it doesn't leave the chat, I'm cool with it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I got a shout out. Good. Tag 1138.
I put a lot of trust in the True Cult people, and they haven't betrayed it so far, so...
Yeah, True Cult, that's like the most concentration of my folk. I got BM in there. I got my guy Alec in there. It's a pretty good, solid group.
Favorite Polish actor? I don't have a favorite Polish actor or a favorite actor. You must work up point is when I'm up there on stage playing guitar for Katy Perry. Do you prefer ice water or chocolate milk? Ice water. Have I ever felt scared when crazy fans approach you on stage during your set? Yeah, but I'm more scared for them because most of the time security's there and we all know, what can happen when people rush the stage. I mean, take a look at what happened with Randy and Lamb of God.
I agree with you, Uncle Dan. For sure.
My dad isn't my favorite actor, no.
That's just somebody that thinks that they know who you are.
My dad's an asshole. Well, he was. We talked about that too, man.
I was gonna say, what the fuck, man? Way to honor your father and mother, you son of a bitch. The Cure or the Smiths?
The Cure.
I haven't done any Cure songs. What's a good Cure song?
Pretty much any Cure song.
Really?
They don't really do much wrong. Most underrated metal band, Dumal. Like, I will plug Dumal until the day I die. No, he's not anymore, Ben. What do I think of Lamb of God? Yeah, they're badass. I love Lamb of God. And I do agree, Randy. I think Randy still is one of the best live screamers. Yes. I'm not going to identify the question, but yes.
Somebody write to me about a good Cure song.
Am I a member of Dumal? No. But I do love Dumal a lot.
A Forest? Is that the name of the Cure song?
The Cure Burn, yeah, I was waiting for that one.
Okay, A Forest by the
That
Cure.
was all of the Cure stuff. Avatar is awesome too. I like Avatar.
Salam, Hitman. Don't hit anybody. Yes, Jay, you're late to the party. I only have 12 minutes left, sir. Hey, are you a fan of Gojira?
Yeah.
I was at the show and everybody was like, Gojira, we love Gojira.
Yeah. Now all this stuff is the Cure stuff. Do I like Justin Bieber? I respect Justin Bieber, but I don't like his music.
Yeah, you can't not respect that dude, man.
Yeah, he's worked his ass off for like the past 7 years. I have respect for how hard he works with what he does, but I just don't like his music.
Yeah, putting out content is no joke. Good Lord. I respect you. You're fucking... That's probably why we get along so well. You're a workaholic too, man.
Yeah.
You work your ass off, dude.
Well, we all gotta work our ass off.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been stuck in the...
Canadian.
Huh?
David said he's Canadian, so no respect.
I've been in this room the entire day. Between my other job and this thing. Well, you see,
Ghost worked his ass off. Who's Ghost? I don't know who Ghost is.
Ghost is a person?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. They just legalized weed in Canada. Good for Canada.
Now you're like, we have to go to Canada, Vin.
Yeah, I mean, it's legal out here too, so. What's your Twitter, Ranger?
Just
have I already seen the new update from Ghost? Oh, a new video, yeah. I've seen it.
There's a new one?
Yeah, it's for the worst song on the new album. So that's great.
We got to do that with Sori.
Oh my god. It's for Dance Macabre.
Yeah, Sori is a badass with her editing. God almighty, she's so good. She's so good.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised at how different the reaction video we did looked than it did when we were making it.
Yeah. She doesn't play around, man. It's like boop, 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 boop.
6 strings, Fred, depending on what I'm doing.
Thank you, River. I appreciate it.
I know you were at Tobias Forge and Vin is your biggest fan. Okay, Kim. What's my favorite way to smoke?
Answer the question.
Bong.
Yeah, we already did Dance Macabre, bless God. So I don't have to do it again. Sori actually liked that song. I thought it was a
Have you ever
disaster.
tried a multi-scale guitar? Yeah, I have. I don't really care for them much. How do I feel about Decibel Omega? Well, Vin could probably answer that one for you. I like Decibel, but I hate their production. So,
Yep.
do I drink single malt scotch? Yes. I like scotch.
Thank you very much, metal guitarist. You just bought me a diaper. I appreciate it. Badass. This is the best community of all time.
How many hours per day do I have to practice to learn Lil Wayne's guitar solo? I mean, I practice for hours a day, but not for Lil Wayne solos. Lil Wayne solos are child's play anyway.
Oh boy.
Good old Jim Beam whiskey, yep, that is correct. How inferior do I feel to a drummer? Not inferior, because my little brother's a drummer. And I could beat his ass.
Could you really?
Yeah, I probably could.
I don't know. I got the money on your bruv.
Of course you do. You're against me, shithead.
So you had my own daughter going against me. I have no pity for you.
That's true.
I have no pity whatsoever for you.
But she did deny it when we were talking to her.
Yeah. She's like, no.
She was like, I was rooting for you.
Yeah, lying ass. Lying ass.
Would I be caught dead wearing the shirt? I'd wear it. It's a cool shirt.
I gave that band a freaking 8.9 missed. And
That's generous.
everybody's like, you hate them, you hate them. I just wasn't feeling the video. That's all.
You can't even imagine how much hate I've been getting for my opinion on Ghost.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. You really hurt those people.
I knew. Yeah, I hurt their feelings, so they attacked me. That's how Ghost fans are.
Ghost is a very important band to them. You heard them.
Their fans are sheeple.
No, sheeple.
When I drink Katy Perry's bath.
Disgusting.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't even think Katy Perry's that pretty.
No, she's not.
I think
She used to be, but now she's not.
I think Sori's pretty. That's what I think.
Would you drink Sori's bathwater?
It depends on the circumstances. Vin, have you heard the cover from Epica to the Spider-Man theme? Kellen, we've got our full review of the bands that we saw a couple days ago on, what do you call it? Coming out tomorrow. We already clipped that video.
Am I going to give Vin any shirts from my bands? Yes. When he comes out before a show, he's going to get the full VIP treatment.
Bitches.
He's going to get pictures. He's going to get
Bitches.
signed merchandise.
Bitches. It's my guy.
Yeah. He's going to get in before everybody else. He's going to hang out with us in the stage room. So it's going to be epic.
Gonna be epic. Then I'm gonna go on tour because I'm mobile. Haha. New Tool will never happen.
No. They've been saying New Tool for like the past decade, and it's not gonna happen.
It's just been 12 years, man.
Yeah.
I am still checking out the origins of black metal, so I am going to be looking at some Celtic Frost for sure.
Is Vin gonna get That's up to Vin.
I was doing a song. I did a song. Actually, it was out on YouTube, and with this guy, this dude, and I was in the studio with him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you should do the verse." So anyway, I'm writing this verse in my head or whatever. And then they took like 58 takes to get this one verse, this kid's 16 bars. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So then I go in, because it's finally my turn. I go into the booth, and then I realize, like, the entire place, bro, was completely smoked out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, you like from top to bottom, the whole place was just fumigated with, I was like,
wow. You and I can hotbox my car if you want.
So I did that verse. I did that verse in one take, because I said to myself, if I don't get this done in one take, I'm never gonna do this, because
You were definitely gonna get that second hand.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't drive home. I had somebody else drive me home. Yeah, man, it was that bad.
So you were feeling it.
Yeah.
Were you giggling a lot?
Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, yo, because everybody's like, yo, I can't believe you did that in one take, man. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, that was legendary. I'll probably let you hear the song one day. It's a rap song.
Vin, are you anti-pod? No, he's not.
I'm not anti-pot, no. No, all my friends are
Stoners.
potheads, weedheads.
And myself and you know whom are two of them, so.
Yeah. Whoa. Thanks, Artur. I appreciate you, my guy. Vin, you are my new hero. Yeah, that was legendary. I'd walk down the park, they're like, yo, that's that guy that did that verse.
Matthew says you've got a baggie in your pocket now.
Nah. I was always like the designated driver / person on the train who had to be head on a swivel.
Yeah. How long has my band been around? Which one?
You take the best pictures, my guy. I'm looking at your icon right now. It's such a good picture.
Oh, the Manhattan one?
No, the icon that you're using for your picture on Skype.
Oh. Wait, now I gotta look at it. Oh, yeah.
Where is
Do I dig
Sori?
any-
See, this is everybody wants to know. Where is Sori?
Do I dig any doom metal? Not really. Because it makes me go.
I actually like some doom metal.
Some of it's okay, but the rest of it just makes me.
I heard one Clutch song, and I was actually pretty blown away by them, Mr. Ranger. I thought they were really good. I liked them a lot.
And you know about the doom metal band that I told you about that opened for us that was absolutely terrible. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Then that's the one that asked you afterward, like how they did?
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit was funny as hell, man.
Yeah. We're not talking about the Proud Boy Antifa thing. We're not.
Vin, are you a traveling preacher? What's up with the hotels? Huh?
Yes, Ben.
I go around with Sori because we're going to shows and such. So that's why we're in the hotels. I would be a terrible traveling preacher.
Band currently talking to a label. Any advice? Well, be yourselves. Be professional. Ask questions that you have. Do not go into it leading the label to think that you know what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to have a bad time. So just ask your label questions. Make sure your contracts and everything are in order. Make sure you read the contracts. And if, you're having trouble with it, get a lawyer to help you go through it.
Did you... I think the lawyer thing is important.
Because otherwise, labels like to take advantage of
ignorance.
Newer bands, and they like to take advantage of motivated people because they're like, oh, just sign this contract. That means we'll get 85% of your money from your records. Just make sure you know the parameters of it. No problem.
What band are you in?
Wire drummer's always the fucked up ones. I don't know. Ask my brother.
Would Jesus be considered a zombie? No, because he actually rose fully from the dead. He was actually...
Yeah, he was able to talk, and he still had every function.
Yeah, he was actually an upgrade from what he was before he died. So, no, he wouldn't be a zombie.
That was his final form.
Right. He's a Super Saiyan.
I mean, a lawyer can take advantage of you, but they're not likely to in a situation like that.
Well, the lawyer is going to want to build a relationship with you because you're going to need him down the line.
Right. Like, if a lawyer is going over a contract with you, he's obviously going to want to make sure you get it right. Do I have a YouTube channel? I mean, I have this one, but I don't post anything. I don't know what I would post if I did post stuff. But I do have Twitter and Instagram and shit like that.
Will you ever reveal your real identity?
Yeah, one of these days.
Is Lilo in the room? Mr. Ranger.
You type real fast as both yourself and Lilo. Guitar playthrough videos, I mean, in terms of YouTube content. I mean, I could, but honestly, I have so much stuff on my plate, I really wouldn't have time to edit.
Bruh, you gotta teach me how to do a couple of those songs that I like so I can jump up there.
I mean, we can definitely have you on stage.
That would
just
be...
We'll just give you an 8 string and be like, alright, get up there.
Yeah. Well, I can do some stage presency things. I was taking notes from Zen. I'll tell you what.
If you guys want me to see your questions, make sure you tag me because it's easier for me to see it.
Plus, we only have 5 minutes left, so hurry up.
Yeah. What do I think of that NPC meme? I think it's funny. Because, pretty much, I mean, everyone around you is non-playable. You can't control them, so it does make sense to a certain degree. Can I find your band on Spotify or Google Music? Probably. I wish you wouldn't.
Buy the stuff.
Yeah. Spotify and Google Music are robbery for artists, so... Can I play something for you? I mean, it'd be kind of hard, but I probably could.
You're on a phone, right?
No, I'm on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I have my PS4, man.
No shit.
Yeah. So that means we can, Fortnite.
You took that shit with you? You're in a
I
hotel.
always take it with me.
What hotel are you in?
I mean, I don't know if I want to divulge that to the chat, so I'll tell you
Fred,
privately.
Fred, are you in the one that went on strike?
Would you like us to buy Magua? Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I'm hyped for Red Dead 2. And Ben, you wouldn't buy my music even if you knew who I was. Quit playing.
You just steal it, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you'd probably pirate it.
Yeah. That's the type of person he is. That's why we love him. Because he's a thief.
Yesterday's Vin and Sori reviewed your music on here before. Yes, they have. I'm going to drop my PS4 gamer tag because I know people are going to ask. He once barfed in his mask on stage and passed out from huffing the fumes. See, there is some truth to that, even though I didn't pass out, I have barfed on stage.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Disgusting.
Financially, what is the best way to support fans via contact purchase? Digital and t-shirts. Because digital, there's less cost. Like, the digital provider does take some cuts, but it costs more to make vinyl and it costs more to make CDs. Puking is not fun, so please don't try to be edgy. Stage presence or music, they're both equally important. If you're playing badass music and you look bored, then it's just, like, what's the point? Dirk, what games do you play? I play Fortnite, I play Madden, I play all sorts of stuff. And yeah, you should have me.
1 minute, you bums.
Yeah, you guys have 1 minute. Any power metal bands? Yeah, I like Power Wolf a lot. Would I ever perform on Eurovision? No.
You might.
I wouldn't really want to. Do I like ISIS, the band? What do I think about Slipknot and Mushroom Head? I don't really care.
Who has the best vocals in the black metal game? The dude from Magua.
Yeah, the dude from Magua and Devilish from Cult of Fire.
The dude from Magua, the dude from Batushka. I don't know who this person is from Cult of Fire. Who is this person?
He's very good. He goes by Devilish.
Nope, Magua and Batushka. I've spoken. Oh, Fred, I'm a large, sir. I am a large. Vin and Sori, P.O. Box 7024, Lewiston, Maine 04243. Have a good one, evil one. Does Magua actually stand for something? It means fog.
For fog, yeah.
Fog?
Yeah, people always think it's like Mugla or like Mugla or Mugla or some other stuff like that. It's Mugla.
Yeah, you were actually the one that taught me how to say that name properly.
Yeah, Mugla. But once you like get it, it's actually super easy to say. Like I'm used to saying Mugla. You know?
Is that finally you, Nergal?
No. If you vomit on stage, all of a sudden it turns into a horror show. Yeah. I mean, it was funny. After I put the mask in, like, water, the water turned yellow.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fucking disgusting. God almighty, that's so terrible. That's so terrible. Alright, guys. I'm out of here.
Alright. I dropped my gamer tag one last time, so. But yeah, Vin, so we can friggin' play, my guy.
So we can murder these guys. Murder them!
Yeah. That's what we gotta do.
Mr. Caller, convince Vin to do Cult of Fire.
Something off of sectic meditation of death. Yes, I agree. I will.
Via con Diablos. No, I'm gonna Via con Dios, Ranger, you son of a bitch. Ben, listen, Benji, even if you just have a PlayStation, you can still play what do you call it? What do you call that thing? What's that game, Mystery? Fortnite, yeah.
Yeah, it's cross-platform. Do I want to trade nude pics? No, I don't. Thank you for the offer, but no.
Alright. What a disgusting image. Alright.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Alright. Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Have a good one.
Chat.
Peace out, y'all. Get along. Stop saying evil shit to each other. Good day.